and Chief Marketing Officer at Nearby. He had a strong career path in marketing and brand building, spanning over a decade with some of the largest consumer internet and media companies in the country. Now, having started his career with Info Edge Limited with sales, he moved on to the marketing and worked on some of the biggest online brands in the country, including Naukri.com, Jeevansathi.com, and 99acres.com. From online classifieds to domain registration and e-commerce, he has worked across multiple categories and helped build some of the largest online brands in the country. He has taken pure online programs and launched them offline at scale and with a strong ROI, breaking traditional methods of creative, production, planning, buying, and measurement along the way. In his last avatar as CMO of Groupon, he overlooked the marketing activities for Groupon in India, Indonesia, Thailand, and Philippines. Now at Nearby, he is busy building the next big thing in hyper-local discovery. So it's my privilege to now invite our guest of honor, Mr. Sachin Kapoor, to motivate the new batch of the students.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Thakur, Mr. Srivaths, and the entire eminent faculty here at Jaipur Institute of Management for giving me this opportunity. It's very exciting to, address such a talented batch. I believe the 12th batch of PGDM at this prestigious institute. Yeah, and great. And as I think Dr. Thakur spoke about, or Srivaths spoke about, the opportunity. And Dr. Deepak Singh also really stressed on the fact that this is a great opportunity that you've got. If you look at the population in this country, as Srivaths mentioned, there are very few people who graduate, very few people who postgraduate, and very few people who postgraduate in management, with a quality education. You guys, at the end of 2 years, will be empowered with so much knowledge that you can change the world if you believe. And to do that, I think Dr. Thakur spoke about how this institute will really take care of you academically, how you will need to put in your own efforts, but the institute has enough infrastructure, faculty, and a great curriculum to help you reach there. Dr. Deepak Singh really spoke about, what are the qualities that you need to imbibe during these 2 years. I will take one step further and tell you that beyond the academics, beyond the qualities which are extremely important, there are also certain principles. There are certain of these principles that have really helped me. I don't come from a very, very fancy educational background. I come from a very normal educational background. But what I realized that there are certain principles in life which really help you. And I'm going to talk of these 3 principles. Some of this you might have heard, read in other places, but it's good to kind of re-emphasize. The first principle that I'm really going to stress upon is the fact that there is no straight path to success. Gone are the days when your careers post this will be like a corporate ladder which is straight up. You will look up or you will look down. No, that's not how things work anymore. It was way back. Things work very differently. Today, there are no ladders, there is a zigzag path. From where you're sitting today to where you want to go is a long journey which will have innumerous experiences. Okay, some of those experiences will be great, some of those experiences will be sheer joy and happiness, and some of those experiences will be painful. Really, really painful. And to get through this, there are important things that you need to remember. So coming back to the zigzag path, how many of us have played this or heard about this game called Flappy Bird? Okay, quite a few. So right after your MBA, which is your post, your post-graduation, which is a very protective world, you enter into the corporate world. That corporate world is actually like Flappy Bird. And it's very interesting because you keep flapping your wings and you keep moving. You hit, certain points which are opportunities that you get, and sometimes you bump into things which are threats or things that pull you down. To give you a few examples, the automobile industry there was a time about 4 to 5 years back, the automobile industry had about 60 months to take a concept of an automobile into production. Today, that cycle has reduced from 60 months to about 16 to 24 months. There are platforms being developed where you can literally take a concept and put it to production in no time because there's enough and more competition. There is Chinese manufacturers, there are Indian manufacturers, there's innovation happening at a very, very high pace. And more than the speed of innovation, the speed of adoption. How many of us ever thought that we could hail a taxi using our mobile app probably 3 years back? Hardly anybody. People used to mock it, some of the other guys saying that, this guy's going to take you for a ride, but now everybody uses it. I remember back in my days, there was a website called indiaplaza.com. I once used my father's credit card to order a book, and my father scolded me and literally threw me out of the house because he said that somebody will misuse his credit card because I use it on the internet. That time internet was only used for the wrong things, way back. And nobody wanted to use their credit cards on the internet. Now, everybody, the other day, there's a cook in our house. She came and she asked my mom, I want to buy something. Can you order it from one of the e-commerce websites? My mom was shocked. And she said, I'll pay you cash because these guys deliver at home. And that's how the pace is changing. So when the pace changes like that, you need to change as well, right? So there's no straight path. Coming back to Flappy Bird, what is very interesting and why this gamification example is very important is that some years back, if you failed in your career, right, something went wrong, maybe you fell ill or something you did not do really well, there was hardly any opportunity for you to come back. But in Flappy Bird, the interesting thing happens is that when you hit a bump, you fall down and you get back again. Worst thing, you get another life, you boot that app again and you start kind of flying again. Now that brings me to my second point. Don't be afraid to fail. Nothing happens. Nobody notices. By fail, I don't mean fail in your exams. By fail, I mean fail in terms of what you want to do, right? So don't be afraid to fail. Nobody's noticing it. For the others, it's just a blip on the radar. It's nothing important. I'll give you a personal story. I moved from sales to marketing, thinking that I'd made this great move because I started in InfoEdge as a salesperson and then got an opportunity to do marketing. 3 years into marketing, I worked on some of the biggest internet brands in this country, including Naukri.com, that used to be a powerhouse. It was the second most visited website in this country behind Google at that point in time. After about 3 years, I realized that, I need to learn more in marketing. And my learning curve was flattening out. I tried to apply to some of the really big, prestigious marketing companies across India and outside. But I could not make it. Not because I didn't know the basics of marketing, but because I was not from one of the institutes that was listed as their institute's choice. In one of the bigger companies, I went to the final round, I met the chief marketing officer and he told me, I'm sorry son, we would love to take you, but we can't. Because you don't come from an institute that's listed in our list of institutions. It was a big, big hit for me. It was something which I had failed. I always thought that marketing was great. I would go really and become a CMO one day, but this was a big jolt to me. I thought I had failed. To the extent that I came back and I started thinking that sales was really nice. I would achieve my numbers and nobody gave any consideration to where I came from. I could just contribute to the revenue of the company and keep growing. So I decided to move back into sales. So I joined a business development role at Hindustan Times, the radio division called Fever 104. I stayed there for exactly 6 months. Because in those 6 months, they were the most rewarding and at the same time the most unhappy 6 months of my professional life. You know why they were unhappy? Not because I was not doing my numbers, but because I realized that this was not something I loved. I loved doing marketing. I did not enjoy doing sales, even though I was very, very good at it. I was really smart. I was talking to marketeers on the other side of the table. I was trying to sell my radio channel to a bunch of marketeers who were sitting in companies like Vodafone, Nokia, and so on and so forth. And I could reach out to them, talk to them because I had been a marketer myself. I knew their problems. I was not selling them a radio channel. I was solving a marketing problem for them, which I identified with. So it was very, very easy for me compared to some of the other sales guys who had never been on this side of the table. But I did not enjoy it because it was not something I loved. It was not something that I really wanted to do in life. And that brought me, and that gave me my biggest third learning. A lot of people told me you can't be a chief marketing officer, you can't be a big guy in marketing because you don't come from one of the top B schools. That's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. I made the mistake of believing them. So my third point is don't believe everything that people say. Research for yourself, read for yourself, learn for yourself, and have a belief system. We all have a limited time on this world. Let's not live anybody else's life. It's a famous quote from Steve Jobs, and it stayed with me because I made that mistake. Fortunately for me, I decided to go back to marketing and got an opportunity, and that's how my career moved on. So 3 things that I'd like to reinstate as you move forward and do everything academically as well as you interact with industry. These are 3 principles that have helped me. I hope they'll help you. Point number 1, there is no straight path to success. There is a zigzag path, so look all around you, learn all you can. 2, don't be afraid to fail. And 3, don't always believe what others say. Seek it out for yourself. In the end, when you look at the mirror, all I can say is that the strength is you, the competition is you, and the enemy is also you. So believe in yourself. Thank you so much.